let's talk about those scenes we just saw through the last hour. Paul Murray, of course, was showing out of the UK. Donald Trump, the President of the United States, and the First Lady Melania have gone over for their second state visit, of course, seeing King Charles and Queen Camilla, and of course they're the Prince and Princess of Wales as well. They've gone to Windsor Castle because Buckingham Palace, which is where they went last time, is currently being renovated. I wonder whether they're paying their tradies in 20 grand instalments that they're taking out of the bank each day to avoid the tax. But anyway, they're over there having a gay old time, and Trump, as we know, loves the pomp and ceremony and all this stuff. So he would be loving himself sick. What I couldn't get over, though, and this is just getting away from the vision that we've seen, that like this is a genuine news event, and most news channels were running that coverage as we were. Of course, we had it. Sky News UK, our sister channel over there, was running it. GB News had it. Fox News in the US had it. But ABC here, they've got a news channel, 24-hour news channel. They just had a little box in the corner with a bit of footage running in the background. CNN, until about 10 minutes before we went to air, had not shown a single frame of this. This is a news channel in the United States, had not shown a single frame of their president going to meet the royal family. Like, this is a big news event. MSNBC just had a little box in the corner. I mean, you couldn't nail your colours to the mast any more clearly, could you? That we're basically just going to ignore the fact that for the first time in history, the American president is getting a second state visit with the royal family. Yeah,
it's because the left-wing media in the US cannot give Trump any wins. They will not acknowledge anything impressive that he has achieved. This is a world first for a US president to receive a full second state visit. They are not sparing any expense, pulling out all the bells and whistles. I mean, thousands of people were involved in that military parade. This has been planned for months, and ultimately this is because the UK realises they actually do need to suck up to Trump if they want to get good outcomes on trade, on defence, and strengthening their relationship. It's a lesson I think our government could learn. But yeah, the US media, they don't want to give Trump any wins. This is objectively a win. This shows that the international community is not treating Trump like a pariah, which is what the left-wing media wants. They're sucking up because they have to.
Well, and given what we saw from one of the ABC journalists today and his questioning of Donald Trump, and given what you remember when the King's coronation occurred, the coverage and the fact that they were almost apologising for having to show this coverage, and the amount of complaints. I mean, they got hundreds, if not thousands, of complaints for the way they covered this and made it all about First Nations people instead of just being allowed to sort of overwhelmingly celebrate what was going on. It's to their loss because they are amazing photos. It's a great escape from some of the troubles of the world. But the wider issue, and Freya, I agree with you, this is a great example of where the UK and the US feel they sit in their relationship with each other. Meanwhile, we don't know who we're friends with. In one moment, we're in the Pacific trying to catch up with China. The next minute, we're trying to suck up to China and say everything's good there. Starmer has met with Trump twice already. This will be the third meeting. We're apparently now only getting our first meeting. But our relationship with the US has really just gone backwards under the Albanese government. And you see these two countries today showing why it's so important.
Yeah.
And you'll have that meeting with Starmer. I mean, he's basically hoping that this will steady the ship for him for a little while with all the leadership troubles he's potentially facing himself. And I think what this proves is what Donald Trump has done to put the US back on the map as a world force. Because you could argue, particularly under Biden, but you know, in the last 15 years, as the US has sort of slowly pulled out of wars and had unsuccessful wars through the Middle East, the influence of the United States, facing a rising China as well, has been diminished somewhat. But Donald Trump has really put the US back on the map, has said we are here to take the fight up to China and to be the natural ally for people in the West, countries in the West, to go to deal with, to do business with, to make friends with, because he can see that if he doesn't do it, it is China that will move in. And this is proof of just how well Trump has done that and managed to get people to come and kiss the ring and say, actually, the US does still have a role to play.
Yeah, exactly. And it's the shift away from this sort of liberal international order back to a realism that says, actually, really, the two countries that matter most in the world are the US and China. That is where the great competition lies. Pick a side. Pin your flags to the mast, and there is going to be conflict, there's going to be competition, and everyone has to pick a side, and you better be on the US's side, otherwise you're in for a lot of pain. But I think for Starmer as well, I mean, he's going to be hoping that this is what saves his prime ministership. Obviously, he's sacked the British ambassador to the US, the deputy prime minister's been forced to resign, his head of strategy has resigned. They've lost a third of their Labor voters since they got elected 14 months ago. So his prime ministership is hanging on by a thread. Now, he's going to hope that projecting this strong relationship with the US might be the thing that keeps him in power. But I mean, when your alternative is Nigel Farage, who's besties with Trump, I don't think this is going to do it for him.